Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Las Vegas Advisor Weekly Update with Anthony and Andrew. The holiday season is among us, and we are drinking some eggnog from Ellis Island.
Boozy eggnog.
Yeah.
This stuff's got a kick. Ellis Island's been making this eggnog for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Homemade recipe. They've, it's now an institution.
Yeah.
And they always bring us several bottles, right? And that's how we start off the holiday. They serve it 24/7 through December, and until it's gone. And it's $8 for glass and $38 to get a full bottle that you can take out with you.
Okay.
Believe me, everybody I give to this is like, I'm going to go get a bottle. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's good stuff. So
it is really good.
We'll be sipping on some Ellis Island eggnog during this video.
Now, is this a comp if you're gambling?
I think so.
Okay. So if you're at the bar, you gambling, you're playing Keno or video poker?
I would expect that it's a comp.
All right.
You go and play some video poker, and they probably will comp it. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I believe so.
Yeah. And it goes well with coffee, too. If you're wondering, that's what this is. Got a little coffee chaser.
What kind of whiskey you got in that one?
Yeah. And you might notice it is Friday. We usually release on Wednesdays, but we've been drinking eggnog all week. So
not really.
No, not really. Really, Anthony's been hard at work to release this past month edition of the Las Vegas Advisor.
Yeah, kind of bittersweet and a little bit. It's the last print edition.
Yeah,
we're going to continue doing the newsletter as we have. But it's been in print for since 1983.
Yeah.
And this is the last printed edition. And I actually, the lead story I wrote about it, I called it Last One. And because it is. Now we'll keep doing the same thing. But, we put on the cover the different incarnations that the print has gone through over all these years. As you can see, we've gone through a lot of different versions.
Yeah.
And it's started with the one up in the left-hand corner in 1983, the little blue copy.
Right, and you can see through the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s.
Right, and that's there's a pretty good story with the blue copy. I'd only been in Vegas for about 4 years, and I just always knew I wanted to do a newsletter because before I came out here, I was trying to find information about Vegas. I couldn't find anything, and I said, I'm going to start a newsletter someday. I mean, I think that will do well, which it did, but that was before desktop publishing.
Yeah.
So the way I used to do that is I had like a job during the day, and then I would go out at night after work or whatever. When I got back, I would work on the newsletter and type it up and send it back to Michigan, where my folks had a mimeograph machine that they use for an educational publishing business that they have. And my mom would retype the whole thing and typeset it so it fit. They'd print it off, collate it, staple it, and send it back to me. And I would send it to our 30 or 40 subscribers, how many we had.
Wow.
That's how it all began.
Yeah. I remember those mimeographs. I remember how the paper would look.
Yeah. And it was amazing how we did it. And yeah. I remember I wrote about this. I asked my mom once, I said, why did you do that? I said, all that work, you had to figure it was it wasn't going to happen. She goes, we did it because, you're our son, right? You're our son, and we trusted you. But she goes, we read it, and we're like, it's really good.
Yeah, you're like a journalist. You went out and you really did a lot of early Vegas journalism.
So anyway, that's how it began, and it's on from there. We're going to go to digital format.
Right. So it's just a sign of the times now.
Absolutely.
And as you know, every year the LVA does a room rates survey. So this year, what have we found, Anthony?
Well, it's an extensive survey. We check everybody. We do it. We do it in July. We do it in December.
Yeah.
And last year was the worst ever in terms of lowest rates, and this year was a carbon copy. Mm-hmm. So last year we called 90 some places. We found 21 with room rates that were $40 or less.
Okay.
And this year we found 21 again.
So it's exactly the same.
Different ones, but pretty much exactly the same. This is again just another example of the casinos are charging more for everything now. Mm-hmm. For instance, this was the first time in several years that there was not a single room that we found with a base rate that was under $20.
Got it.
Yeah,
wow.
The lowest one was $22 at Circus, but we found some decent things. Under $40, we found El Cortez, Flamingo, Harrah's, Link. Luxor, New York, New York. Some on the high end, Planet Hollywood, 41. Mandalay Bay, 47. Park MGM, 47. Virgin, 52. Resorts World, 65.
Wow.
Now, so, now these are base rates. And, of course, they put the resort fees on top of it.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, 65 becomes 100.
Yep.
Right? The one that came in the lowest was Binion's because it had a base rate of 40, and Binion's has, the Apache Hotel at Binion's has no resort fee. And the other was 49 at Four Queens, also no resort fee.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So bottom line is rateflation is still here. I don't think it's here to stay, but it's still here.
All right, now this next one I'm really excited about because I have been meaning to do this Wednesday night all-you-can-eat lobster special at the Palms, and you sent in Deke to go check it out.
Yeah, Deke Castleman's our senior editor here.
Yep.
And he went in to try the lobster buffet, but not just to try it, but to find out, is there a hack? Is there any way to beat those lines?
Yeah.
Because we've covered this before, and we've talked about the lobster buffet, but the big problem is like who wants to stand in line for 4 hours?
Nobody.
Well, we found one.
Okay.
We found the hack. We found the way to play it. And what you do is you go in early. A lot of people show up, a little bit after opening thinking that's going to be pretty good. No, that's when the line starts forming. So the lobster buffet now opens at 2 o'clock. And the optimal time to get there is about an hour before.
Okay.
Deke actually got there at 1:10. And the reason is they take your name at the register when you pay. You just walk up to the cash register. They put your name down on a list until they have 200. The 200 is the initial number of people that go in. So once you're there, and he walked right up to the cashier, paid, and gave him his name, he was in. And at 2 o'clock when it opens, all you got to do is come back. The line forms, but everybody goes straight in. It's not like it's going bit by bit. They all go in one at a time, but I mean all in mass. So the reality is, by him getting there at 1:10, he was in the room a few minutes after 2 o'clock. So it was about an hour wait. And you don't have to wait in line. You can go walk around. You can play a little bit. You can, come back at 2. And so that's, that's how we did it, and that's the play. Once the 200 is in, that's when they start taking names, and they will then text you and call you back. But who knows how long that wait can be.
So how was it once Deke was inside?
I wasn't there, but I'm just going on his write-up. We've got a whole review in the current issue, and I read and edited the review. He said it was absolutely terrific. He said it was as good. We've, over the course of the years that we've done LVA, we've eaten at several lobster buffets. And he says it's as good as or better than any that we've ever been to before. Well,
they say they get the lobsters from the downtown LA fish market.
Yeah, that's right. I remember hearing that. It's good. It's good quality. It's all you can eat. They've also got snow crab legs. They've got fish. They've got all kinds. They've got a carving station. Regular food. They got Mexican food, Chinese, desserts, salads. It's a great buffet to begin with. But then it's just basically all the lobster, and they serve it either whole lobsters, I believe, or tails only.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to go check it out and make a little video on it.
Well, now that we know the hack,
yeah.
I don't mind waiting an hour to get a lobster.
That's right.
And it was $70.
Yeah.
$70 after they didn't raise the price, but after tax, it's $70.
Okay, $70 a person, all you can eat lobster tail at the Palms on Wednesday. Moving on to the CIRCA Survivor Series. Last week we talked about each of the contestants had to place 2 bets in this round. How did we do?
Well, I thought they were going to get, it was going to get whittled down, but it didn't. Looks like everybody was, had their game on.
Yeah.
And only 3 got knocked out over the entire weekend.
Okay.
So it's down to 71. And the next time this is going to happen is at Christmas, when there'll be Christmas games and then the weekend games. And we'll see. It's starting to look a lot. We're getting toward the end of the season. It's starting to look a lot like the prize is going to be split. So we'll see.
All right. Well, you heard it here. 71 remaining in the CIRCA Survivor Series. Now, this one's a really interesting title. We're titling this bit Man with the $100,000 Breasts. Okay, so Anthony, can you tell us a little bit about the man with the $100,000 breasts?
Well, a little bit of background. The reason we did this, we promised this last week, where I brought it up and your eyes got big, and I said, okay, we're going to talk about it. We'll even put a picture or 2 up.
Okay. Let's see him.
I think we can. I think we can see him. This was a book we did 20-some years ago by a guy named Michael Koenig, who was at that time the top gambling writer for the masses, meaning that he wrote for regular magazines. He wrote. He was the columnist for Cigar Aficionado and wrote for a lot of other periodicals. And we took a compilation of his columns, and one of them was this one. This was the lead story, The Man with the $100,000 Breasts. It's about a guy named Brian Zembick. And Brian was and still is to this day, professional gambler. And he made a bet with somebody that he would get breast implants and wear them and keep them for a year for $100,000. And Brian did that. Yeah. And this is the story.
Yeah.
And I mean, this guy Zembick's a fascinating guy. I mean, he was a professional gambler. He still is. A very good poker player. Some say the best backgammon player in the world. He's also a professional level ping pong player.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing. He's like a Renaissance man, but he's got boobs.
Did he get better or worse at ping pong with the boobs?
I think it was the same. I don't think it matters.
So the picture looks like it was taken quite a while ago. Has he gotten rid of his boobs?
No.
He's still got them.
He's got them all these years later.
Wow.
And I mean, I know.
What's the benefit?
Well, I'll tell you what. It says it right in the story.
Yeah.
One of the best part of the stories is the writer asks him, why? Why do you keep them?
Yeah.
He says 3 words. Chicks dig them.
Chicks dig my boobs,
That's
man.
what he said. Chicks dig them.
Right, cool.
One more story about this.
Yeah.
I didn't know Brian at the time. And I had to get a photo. Obviously, for the book, I had to get a photo.
Yeah.
So I contacted him and I said, can we meet to talk about, me getting a photo for the book? And he goes, yeah. He goes, Brian's a real fast talker. He's like, yeah, I'll meet you down at Caesar's Palace. We'll meet in front of the fountains.
Yeah.
So we go, and I'm like, I got to have a budget in my head. And I put $2,000 in. I've got a suit jacket on. And I put $2,000 in a pocket of the jacket. That's what I'm willing to pay. And we get there and we talk a little bit, and we sort of seem to hit it off a little bit, and we did. I mean, we're friends to this day.
Yeah.
And I said, well, look, I just need this one. So he shows me. He goes, look, I got all this. I got this. What do you want? What you want? I go, I want this one. Whatever. I go, what are you going to charge me? I'm just like this. What are you going to charge me? He goes, the media is always taking advantage of me. They're always doing this. He goes, look, I'm just tired of it. He goes, I got to charge you $700. I said, deal.
Yeah. Okay.
And he looks at me and he goes, how much were you going to pay?
Yeah.
And I
That's
took it
funny.
out. I said, count it.
2,000.
He goes, yeah. All right. I said 700. So anyway, that's it.
funny.
Brian and I have been remained buddies for a long time.
Yeah.
It's one of the coolest books we ever did, and it's in our Christmas catalog. We talked about the catalog. I think it's up on the screen right now.
Yep.
Just come to LasVegasAdvisor.com and download the catalog, and there's a lot of good things there.
Check it out. The Man with the $100,000 Breasts. Okay. And in this week's Jackpot of the Week, this was a story that happened to Anthony. Anthony, tell us the story. You're hanging out, girlfriend's birthday.
Well, usually you read a story.
Yeah.
Right? And this time I'm going to tell it because Andrew wasn't there and I witnessed it. We're walking through. We had a special event, a birthday, and we're walking through the Four Queens because we go to Hugo's Cellar. Yeah, good place to go on a special event. And I look and I see a guy right on the aisle, and he just hit a royal.
Nice.
And he's being congratulated by his wife. And I mean, this is a standard royal, 25 cents, $1,000. And I was, 2 or 3 Heinekens in, I think. And so I walked right up to him and I said, gee, I go, congratulations. Can you do that on demand?
Yeah.
And he looks up at me and he goes, are you Anthony?
Yeah.
I mean, just like that. Are you Anthony? I'm like, yeah. How do you know? He goes, I watched the show. He goes, am I going to be on the show?
Yeah.
I go, hell yeah, you're going to be on the show. I mean, with this kind of a story, absolutely, you're going to be on the show.
Yeah.
So I snapped a picture of it. He later, you can see here he's playing 9-6 jacks or better.
Okay.
Right? So
Good
he's
game.
got the 99.54% game, playing a good game, held 4, got 1, which is always a shocker, always fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Right, and then he writes back to me later because I gave him my phone, to send me any other information. He goes, I forgot to tell you. He goes, I did it earlier. I don't know if it was earlier in the day or earlier in his vacation. He was playing 50-cent video poker and had 4 to the royal and filled it again, playing a CIRCA.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Downtown Vegas.
This is Dick W. Dick, I told you it was going to be up. Here it is. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And a cool little story there.
That sounds great. That sounds like $3,000 of profit for Dick.
Not bad.
There you go. Okay, so by the way, how was Hugo's Cellar?
Oh, Hugo's, in my opinion, is one of the great, like old-time restaurants in Vegas, like old-time gourmet restaurants. And you could look at it and you go, man, the prices here seem high. Right? So I had rack of lamb. It was $70.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds steep, right? But they also, here's the thing, these meals come with everything. All right, so they start the meal off with like a real nice bread basket that you can, choose from. Then they make tableside salad that basically the salad is one of the best salads you're going to get in Vegas. That comes with the meal. All right, so they make you a big tableside salad. Then they bring you what they call an intermezzo, which is sorbet to kind of clean your palate.
Yeah, that sounds
right?
cool.
Now your food comes with choice of potato and a vegetable, right? And like you're really full, and they've got these really good tableside desserts as well. But then they bring you chocolate-covered strawberries, the apricots, and things like that. It's all included in the price.
Okay, that sounds like a lot of value.
It's a great value. And I mean, basically, even if you have a drink or two, you're going to get out of there for $100 a person, tops. And I mean, you can get, they've got a New York strip for $59 with all of that included, chicken for $52 with all of that included. And women, when you bring in a date, women get a rose.
Really?
It's fantastic.
There you go. It's a classy place.
This is an old style throwback joint. Hugo's Cellar at Four Queens. I highly recommend it.
Okay. There you go. That's it for this week, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave comments if you would. The more comments we get, the more it helps with the algorithm.
And by the way, I will mention that in the book, The Man with the $100,000 Breasts, there's no censoring. I mean, they're out there in the book.
All right. And that's it for this week. We'll see you next week.